Um, Picture this. You are in Giza, Egypt.
Okay.
It's the year 2020. The sun is just dipped below the horizon, and that chaotic, oppressive heat of the day is finally starting to lift a bit.
Right, that heavy evening heat.
Exactly. The streets are dimming, the shadows are lengthening, but there is still that heavy, constant, almost suffocating hum of the city outside.
Just the constant noise of Giza.
Yeah. And you are following a man named Osama. He's a sales representative,
Okay.
and he works incredibly long, grueling hours just to keep his middle-class family afloat. And tonight, I mean, he is dead on his feet.
Which is such a relatable feeling. You just want to walk in the door and finally decompress.
Completely. So he walks up the narrow stairs to his apartment, turns the key in the lock, and gets inside. But instead of the usual evening chaos of family life,
The TV blaring, the smell of dinner.
right, the sound of kids running around,
Yeah.
instead of all that, he is met with a chilling, absolute silence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He drops his keys. They clatter loudly against the floorboards. He looks at his wife, Abeer, who is sitting there in the quiet living room, completely still.
Just unnatural stillness.
Yes. And he asks her a simple, everyday question. He says, "Where is our 12-year-old daughter, Fajr?"
And this is where it gets strange.
So strange. Abeer barely even looks up. In a voice so casual, almost defies logic, she replies, "She went down to the supermarket."
You know, in missing child cases, the immediate instinctual reactions of the parents are critical markers.
Right?
A parent's baseline response to a missing 12-year-old in a bustling city at night should escalate rapidly toward panic.
Of course.
But in that totally unremarkable exchange, the nightmare actually begins. Because as the minutes tick by, the atmosphere in that apartment violently shifts.
That is so.
And the psychological dissonance just becomes deafening.
Because by 7 o'clock, Fajr is still not back. And look at how the clock dictates this panic for Osama. He isn't just annoyed anymore, he is unraveling.
The time is weaponized against him.
Exactly. The agonizing passage of time starts to physically weigh on him. He practically tears the front door off its hinges, running back out into the street.
Pure panic.
Imagine the visceral terror of a parent in that moment. He is sprinting through the neighborhood, his heart hammering against his ribs. He is bursting into local shops, grabbing shop owners by the shoulders, desperately asking if they've seen his little girl.
Just doing anything he can think of.
Right. He's calling his brother, his hands shaking so badly he can barely dial the phone.
Wow.
But the detail that really makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up is what is happening back in the apartment.
With a beer.
Yeah. She is a statue. She is emotionally blank. While her husband is literally tearing the city apart, she just sits there, completely unbothered, repeating the exact same lifeless sentence.
She went to the supermarket.
She went to the supermarket over and over.
Her complete lack of anxiety, her unnatural statuesque calm while her husband is losing his mind, it is the very first major red flag that something much darker is hiding beneath the surface of this domestic picture.
And uncovering that darkness is our mission for this deep dive.
It's a heavy one.
It really is. To piece together exactly how this happened, we're pulling from a stack of local Egyptian police reports, forensic analyses from the trial, and psychological profiles of predatory behavior.
Right.
We are going to reconstruct a devastating sequence of events for you. This is a journey that begins with the most mundane household issue you can imagine and spirals into an unthinkable tragedy.
It really is a masterclass in how predatory behavior operates.
Yeah. It's a story of manipulation, of profound betrayal, and a mother's fatal secret.
Because predators don't always lurk in alleyways. Sometimes they are invited right into the living room.
Which is terrifying. So to understand the sheer horror of that silent apartment in 2020, we have to rewind the clock exactly 1 year.
Back to 2019.
Right. The family is experiencing something we have all dealt with, a plumbing leak.
Just a totally ordinary, annoying problem.
Just a leaky pipe. Osama, as we mentioned, is constantly out of the house working to pay the bills.
Leaving Abeer alone.
Exactly, leaving her alone in the apartment to manage the household and coordinate the repairs. So she picks up the phone and calls a local plumber named Eid Bekhit.
And we really need to pause on Eid because he clearly wasn't just there to fix a pipe.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Tell us about Eid.
So Eid is a well-known local figure in this specific neighborhood, but he operates a very dark side hustle.
Okay.
He actively claims to practice magic, exorcisms, and the spiritual arts.
Wow.
Yeah, he tells vulnerable people he has the sight that he can look at a person and instantly know if they are afflicted by black magic or if a curse has been placed on them to ruin their lives.
So he walks into that apartment to fix a leaking pipe, but he's actually hunting. He
Exactly.
takes one look at Abeer and completely ignores the plumbing. He targets her directly. He looks her dead in the eye and tells her she looks off.
Right.
He claims he can sense a heavy, dark energy around her, that she's under a curse meant to destroy her happiness. I mean, how does a plumber pull off that kind of pivot so effectively?
He is using a classic cold reading tactic.
Cold reading.
Yeah. Cold reading is essentially a psychological parlor trick used by con artists and fake psychics. They don't actually read minds. They read micro-expressions and contextual clues.
Oh, I see.
You'd likely notice the dark circles under her eyes, the tension in her jaw, the overall state of the apartment, and made a high probability guess that she was exhausted and overwhelmed.
He isn't sensing magic.
No, he is sensing vulnerability. He arrives to fix a pipe, but he immediately attacks her psychological state. He introduces a fabricated problem, a curse, for which he just so happens to be the only cure.
We really have to understand Abeer's reality at this moment to see why she fell for it.
Definitely.
She is trapped in a failing 21-year marriage. The spark is entirely gone. They are drowning in financial stress.
And Osama is never home.
Never. In a society where the pressure to maintain the image of a perfect family is immense, she is lonely, isolated, and desperately looking for a reason why her life feels so miserable.
She needs an excuse.
Right, so when this man tells her, "It's not your fault, you are cursed, and I can fix it," the floodgates just open. She confides every single marital misery, every fear, every frustration to him.
This highlights a crucial intersection of societal shame and predatory grooming.
How so?
Well, we often think of coercion as forceful or violent, but predators don't always use force. Sometimes they just offer a desperately unhappy person exactly what they want to hear.
Validation.
Exactly. Eid promised he could break the curse and fix her life. He made her feel seen, understood, and entirely dependent on his so-called spiritual intervention. She was starving for validation, and he served it to her on a silver platter.
And the manipulation escalates rapidly from there. What starts as a plumber offering spiritual advice turns into daily phone calls.
Daily.
Daily. For an entire month, Eid is on the phone with Abeer, extracting more and more intimate details about her life.
He is building a highly detailed psychological profile of her weaknesses.
Yes, and then he drops the act. He declares his love for her.
Wow.
And Abeer, starved for affection, reciprocates.
The boundary is completely breached here. A full-blown affair begins, and it is built entirely on a foundation of manufactured dependence.
An affair that lasts for an entire year.
A year.
Right under Osama's nose. The audacity of this is staggering to me. Eid is frequently visiting the apartment. His cover is perfect. He's just the plumber coming to check on the pipes.
Hiding in plain sight.
But while Osama is out working to feed his family, Eid is in his home. He is drinking tea in his living room. He is even building a bond with Osama's children.
The older brother Muhammad and 12-year-old Fajr.
Yes, he becomes a fixture in their daily lives.
The psychological violation of that space cannot be overstated. He is embedding himself into the very fabric of the family he intends to dismantle.
Yeah.
He is gaining the trust of the children not because he cares about them, but because they are pawns on his board.
It's so calculated. So after a year of this, Eid gives Abeer a harsh ultimatum. He demands that she divorce Osama. He paints this grand picture for her. He promises to marry her, to cover all the financial expenses, and to step in and raise her children as his own.
And that ties right back into his initial manipulation.
How?
He tells her this is the ultimate way to break the curse on her life. He is testing his ultimate control.
Right.
He has spent a year isolating her emotionally from her husband, stripping away her autonomy piece by piece, and now he is pulling the trigger. He wants total ownership of her life.
But Abeer hesitates. She actually takes a week to think about it.
A week of reality setting in.
Exactly. During that week, the cold, hard reality hits her. The thought of blowing up a 2-decade marriage, tearing her family apart, facing the profound social stigma of divorce and infidelity in her community, it just becomes too much.
It's too high a cost.
She backs out. She calls Eid and tells him no. She wants to end the affair. She wants to try and save her marriage to Osama, and she gives Eid a firm boundary.
Which is?
She says, never call me again, and never step foot in this house.
That rejection triggers what psychologists call narcissistic rage.
Narcissistic rage.
Yes. When a predator or a narcissist loses control over their victim, the charming facade instantly vanishes.
That mask's slick.
Exactly. They don't just get sad. They feel a profound, volatile sense of injury, and their immediate instinct is to destroy the person who rejected them.
And the mask absolutely shatters here. The scene on that phone call is chilling. Eid erupts into a violent rage. At first, he uses the classic blackmail tactic. He threatens to publicly expose the affair to Osama and the whole neighborhood, ruining her reputation forever.
Which is terrifying for her.
But then, he realizes that might not be enough to control her. He pivots to something infinitely darker.
Oh, no.
He delivers a highly specific, terrifying ultimatum. He tells Abeer that if she cuts him off, he will take his revenge. And he won't take it out on her or Osama.
No.
He will take his revenge on her 12-year-old daughter, Fajr.
Pause and think about the gravity of that moment for a second.
Yeah.
The man who has been inside your home, who has drank tea with your children, explicitly threatens the life of your 12-year-old daughter because you ended an affair.
Unthinkable.
The maternal instinct in that situation should be explosive. It should result in immediate police involvement, warning the husband, locking down the house, whatever it takes.
But Abeer does none of that. She completely dismisses it.
Dismisses it entirely.
She convinces herself he is just lashing out in anger. She keeps the secret. I mean, how does a mother justify that to herself?
It requires a staggering amount of cognitive dissonance.
Which is what, exactly?
Cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort we feel when our beliefs contradict our actions or when we hold two conflicting truths at the same time.
Okay.
Abeer had to hold the truth that her child was in mortal danger alongside the truth that exposing the danger would destroy her own life.
Right, because to protect Fajr, she would have to expose her infidelity.
Exactly. She would face the wrath of her husband, the destruction of her family, and utter societal ruin. So she chose self-preservation. Her mind built a massive wall of denial to protect her own secret, rationalizing the threat away as empty words, leaving her daughter completely exposed to a predator.
And that throws us violently back to where we started. It's 2020. Fajr is missing.
The nightmare is real now.
So Osama has dragged his brother to the local police station to file a desperate missing persons report. The investigation is officially underway. The detectives are exhausted, working the dim, chaotic streets of Giza, trying to find any lead on a 12-year-old girl who vanished into the evening.
In these crucial early hours, investigators cast a wide net. They start pulling in anyone from the neighborhood who might have been on the street, anyone who might have seen something out of the ordinary.
Right. And during this chaotic process, the police bring a local tuk-tuk driver into the precinct for routine questioning.
Now, for you listening who might not know, a tuk-tuk is one of those small, three-wheeled, open-air motorized taxis.
Yeah, you see them weaving constantly through the heavy traffic in Egyptian cities. They are everywhere.
Completely ubiquitous.
So Abeer is sitting there in the precinct, still maintaining her eerie, statuesque calm.
But blank stare.
But the moment they walk this tuk-tuk driver into the room, everything changes. Abeer's facade absolutely crumbles.
It breaks.
Her eyes go wide. She starts physically shaking. She points at the driver in an absolute visible panic. She yells out at the detectives, "That's the plumber. That's Eid."
See, the detectives are trained observers. They instantly notice that Abeer's reaction makes no logical sense in the context of a missing child.
Right, why the plumber?
Exactly. Why is the grieving mother terrified of the family plumber? And more importantly, why is the quote-unquote plumber driving a tuk-tuk on the exact night a child goes missing?
It doesn't add up.
They immediately realize the mother is the key to cracking this case.
So the police execute a classic interrogation maneuver. They expertly isolate Abeer. They physically separate her from Osama, putting him in a different room so we can't hear what's about to happen. Once they have Abeer alone, they apply the pressure. They drill into her sudden panic. And under the weight of the interrogation, the dam breaks.
She gives it up.
She confesses everything. She admits to the year-long affair with Eid, and then she admits to the threat. She tells the police that Eid promised to take revenge on Fajr.
This is where the investigation tilts from a standard missing person case into a total nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
The police now know they aren't looking for a runaway child. They are looking for the victim of a targeted, retaliatory abduction.
But the police press her further, and this is the moment where the true horror of Abeer's actions is revealed. They ask her about the supermarket story.
The alibi.
Right. And Abeer confesses it was a complete lie. Fajr never went to the supermarket.
This turning point is almost impossible to stomach.
It is. Because earlier that evening, Eid had actually called Fajr directly on the phone.
Yeah.
He used that bond he had meticulously built over the year. He told the 12-year-old girl he had a special gift for her.
What was the gift?
A brand new mobile phone. He just needed her to come downstairs to the street to get it.
Oh, God.
And listen to this detail, because it is the most haunting part of the entire investigation for me. Abeer knew.
She knew.
She watched her daughter put her shoes on. She watched her 12-year-old walk out the front door to go downstairs and meet the exact man who had explicitly threatened to destroy her.
And she did nothing.
She did nothing to stop her.
It is the ultimate, unimaginable betrayal. She traded her child's safety for the preservation of her own lie. By sitting in that living room and doing nothing, she actively facilitated the trap.
Put yourself right there on the street with little Fajr. She walks out of her building into the twilight, expecting a gift. She sees Eid, the friendly plumber she's known for a year, sitting in the driver's seat of that motorized tuk-tuk.
She trusts him.
Completely.
Yeah.
She walks up to him, smiling, asking for the phone. Eid looks at her and says, "Oh, I forgot it. My friend Samir has it. Jump in, we'll go get it."
And she gets in.
Because she trusts him, she climbs into the back of the tuk-tuk. The engine revs, and they drive off into the dark, chaotic streets of Giza.
The psychological manipulation of the child mirrors the manipulation of the mother perfectly.
How so?
Eid uses the trust he cultivated over 12 months as a weapon to bypass any stranger danger instincts the child might have had.
So they leave the residential glow of Giza behind. The tuk-tuk rattles out toward the industrial outskirts.
Far away from anyone who could help.
Yeah. Eid pulls up to a dark, completely isolated chemical storage warehouse. And waiting for them in the shadows is Samir.
The friend.
But Samir isn't just a friend holding a phone. He is an accomplice who is fully aware of Eid's dark, vengeful plan.
The environment itself is chosen for its isolation and its resources. A chemical warehouse offers them exactly what they need for what comes next. This wasn't a spontaneous crime, it was highly premeditated.
We are going to be careful here, but the gravity of what happens inside that warehouse cannot be understated.
Yeah.
Once Fajr is trapped inside, the unthinkable occurs. She is brutally assaulted by both Eid and Samir.
A nightmare.
A 12-year-old girl, betrayed by everyone she trusted, left entirely at the mercy of two monsters in the dark.
And following the assault, the perpetrators transition from an act of horrific violence to an act of cold, calculated erasure.
Right.
The methodology of the cover-up proves just how deeply Eid had planned this revenge.
It is truly monstrous. They don't just bury her. They need her to disappear entirely so Eid can get away with his revenge and leave Abeer to live with the secret forever.
Total erasure.
Inside the warehouse, they take the child's body and place it into a large industrial barrel. They then fill that barrel to the brim with highly caustic, corrosive chemicals stored in the facility. Can you explain the forensic reality of what they were trying to do here?
These aren't just household cleaners. We're talking about industrial-grade caustic chemicals designed to break down organic matter at an accelerated rate.
Okay.
Scientifically, extreme caustics cause severe chemical burns that liquefy tissues. It's a process related to saponification where fats are turned into soap-like substances, rapidly destroying muscle and skin.
It just dissolves everything.
They dissolve her body almost entirely, leaving absolutely nothing behind except for a few small bone fragments that the chemicals couldn't break down fast enough. It is a terrifying attempt at total annihilation of the evidence.
And even that isn't enough for Eid and Samir. They scoop out the remaining bone fragments and gather up Fajr's clothes. They carry them up the concrete stairs to the flat roof of the warehouse.
Trying to finish the job.
Under the night sky, they douse the remains in accelerant and set them on fire, hoping to turn the last traces of Fajr into smoke and ash.
But this is where the sheer arrogance of the criminal mind so often fails. You can never truly erase a crime scene of this magnitude. Science and human error always leave a trace.
Because back at the precinct, Abeer's broken confession gave the police exactly who to look for. They track the tuk-tuk. They trace Eid's known associates and locations.
They're moving fast now.
Heavily armed police forces raid that industrial chemical warehouse. They kick the doors in. They apprehend Samir right there on site. And shortly after, they hunt down Eid and arrest him too.
And the forensic teams move into the warehouse. And despite the chemical barrel and the fire on the roof, the investigators prevail.
They find it.
Crime scene technicians find the remnants of the fire on the roof. They recover the charred bone fragments. But more importantly, down in the dark warehouse, they find microscopic traces of human remains and crucial blood spots that the men missed in their rush to clean up.
The DNA testing comes back. It is a definitive, undeniable match. The blood belongs to 12-year-old Fajr.
The forensic proof they needed.
The trap was real. The murder is officially confirmed.
The justice system moves swiftly when confronted with evidence this overwhelming and a crime this depraved.
Eid Bekhit and his accomplice Samir are dragged into court. They face the absolute maximum penalty the law allows. Both men are sentenced to death for the kidnapping, assault, and premeditated murder of Fajr.
As they should be.
But for Osama, the father, The nightmare doesn't end with a gavel strike. His reality is utterly, completely shattered. He has not only lost his little girl in the most horrific way imaginable, but he has discovered that the architect of his destruction was his wife of 21 years.
The psychological toll on Osama is unfathomable. He spent his days exhausted, working to build a future for his family, entirely unaware that his wife was actively dismantling that family from the inside out,
Yeah.
culminating in an act of complicity that really defies human understanding.
Left with nothing but profound grief and fury, Osama files a formal adultery lawsuit against Abeer. The family unit is entirely pulverized.
Stepping back and looking at the tragic reality of this case, it serves as an incredibly dark, sobering reminder for all of us.
Definitely.
We spend so much time worrying about stranger danger. We teach our kids not to talk to people they don't know, to avoid dark alleys. But the reality of predation is often much closer to home. Evil doesn't always break in through a shattered window in the middle of the night. Sometimes it knocks politely, offers to fix a leaking pipe, and is invited right through the front door disguised as help.
We all have locks on our doors to keep the monsters out. But what happens when the real danger isn't the stranger and the dog, but the secrets we keep from the people we love?